Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking. You're always looking for and finding the good. Okay, I'm curious about Chanukah. Chanukah, isn't that the festival of lights, Mr. Shore? Yeah, so when are you going to talk about lights? We're going to talk about lights right now because Hanukkah is that beautiful, amazing, wonderful holiday that takes place in the Northern Hemisphere in the darkness of the, what we'll call, for want of a better term, the winter time. Now, of course, in the Southern Hemisphere, it's the summer, but we'll discuss that another time, what it means for the calendar. But the holiday of Hanukkah revolves around miracles. We've already discussed one miracle, which is that a small band of fighters for freedom who were under religious oppression beat the most sophisticated army that existed in that part of the world at that time. But tonight we're going to talk about light, because that's whatever it is. It's the festival of lights, it's the festival of freedom, and it's the miracle of the light. So what was the story? The very short story is, we'll do this over in the next two sessions. The very short story is that this band of great people happens to be a band of brothers, by the way. A father, Matthesyahu, who's in the English, it's called Matthew, and his 5 sons, who compose what they call the Maccabees, which is today the name given to those people who compete in the Maccabean Games, which is on a par with the Olympics and such. But the sons and their cohorts and their guerrilla army beat the sophisticated Syrian Greek army that was the inheritors of Alexander the Great. When doing so, they were able to recapture Jerusalem and the Holy Temple, which stands in the middle of Jerusalem today. Today, we only have one small part of the entire compound called the Temple Complex, and it's called, in today's vernacular, the Wailing Wall, because Jews have been wailing for, and I don't mean going hunting whales, of course, wailing, crying for almost, let's say, over 1940, 50 years since the destruction of the Second Temple in the year 70 of the Common Era, because it's gone. But when it was there in all its glory, it was an architectural wonder. People from all over the world came to marvel at this great, magnificent building, which had no idols in it whatsoever, except when the Greeks took over and they installed the idols in it. Now that the Maccabeans had bested the Greek army and pushed them aside, we were able to go back into the Holy Temple and rededicate it. Now, here's the interesting part. The word Chanukah, as I already told you in what we learned in other sessions, has several meanings. One of them is that the word chinuch in Hebrew, the language that Chanukah is derived from, the English, means to dedicate. We were able to rededicate the Holy Temple without any of the idols, without any of the polytheistic manifestations that were imposed by the foreign power. And in so doing, we rested, as we said, another means of the word Hanukkah, on the 25th day of the month of Kislev, which of course is that unique relationship with what's Christmas, the 25th day of a month. In doing so, the Holy Temple had in it one of the most remarkable of all artifacts, and that is a menorah. Now, a menorah is the Hebrew term for a candelabra. It is a 7-branched candelabra. The word menorah has as its root the word or. Or in Hebrew means light. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean light coming from a candle or an oil lamp or an overhead light or a searchlight, but light in and of itself, the idea of light as opposed to darkness. When you add a letter in front of the word or, in this case, the letter M or mem, it makes it into a verbal noun. So a menorah is that which gives off light. And in the temple, the Holy Temple, it was 7-branched. 7 branches. This is very important. Matter of fact, if you go to Rome, you'll still see in the Arch of Titus, the conquering Roman army, which came in about 150 years after the story of Hanukkah. and destroyed the temple and such, and took away all of these great glorious items back to Rome. You'll see in the Arch of Titus, one of the Roman soldiers carrying a 7-branched menorah. The menorah, or Chanukah, that we use on Hanukkah has 8 branches. Now we're at the end of our time, so I will hopefully titillate you and allow you to say, what's next, Mr. Shore? Because we're going to discuss about why 8, why oil, what happens, how it happened, and what what all of this means to us today. Because unless it's relevant today, we don't really care, do we? And we shouldn't. So more coming on next part of the I'm Curious About Hanukkah. See you in just a little bit. Make it a great one. Bye.